Previously on the Road to 9.
Do you want to be up there but be aware of that you're out of frame and duck down?
Yeah.
So it's like the second one you're not aware.
Yeah.
And then the third one you are aware.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Alright, go.
And it's not just Chewbacca who's back for more. Harrison Ford. Oh my god. You're gonna have to go stand in a different room. When it comes to movie plot twists, very few have the lasting cultural impact of
No, I am your father.
It's been parodied, homaged, spoofed, and ripped off.
I am your father's brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate.
What's that make us?
Absolutely nothing.
But the power of the moment has never diminished, as it caps off the most pivotal Star Wars movie and sets the table for everything that comes after. Joining us today to talk about this moment and the preceding 2 hours of The Empire Strikes Back are Eric, Dallas, and Luke from the Bad Motivators podcast.
Hey everyone, we are doing our first live stream and it has not gone absolutely to plan, thanks to the people in the live chat that have been sitting there for about 40 minutes thinking that we were actually streaming. What are you doing on a Friday night? Seriously, I mean, we feel special. But anyway, people that are more special, we've got the Bad Motivators with us. So we've got Eric. Say hi.
What's happening, guys?
We got Luke.
Hey there.
And we got Mr. Dallas.
How are you?
Good. Thanks for asking.
Oh yeah, Sean as well.
Hello.
Yeah. Hey. So, we're doing this completely live, so if anything fucks up, it's my fault. Sorry. Or we could just blame Australian internet. Australian net's kind of shit.
Oh my god, the worst.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So we've got the live chat going. We're going to be keeping an eye on that. So if anyone wants to chime in on anything that we are talking about, do it in all caps or something. Put eggplant emojis, because we're all drawn to that. And we're going to go through 3 specific topics. First one, we're going to talk about Empire Strikes Back and what it means for sequels in movies. Give some examples of movies that we thought have done it well, and also some that have done not so well. Then we're going to talk about the Dad Vader reveal. We're going to talk about our hopes and dreams for the Rise of Skywalker and any things that could come into that film from The Empire Strikes Back. And then we're going to go to audience questions. We've got some from Patreon, some from Twitter, and that's going to be about it. So, without further ado, let us get into the first topic.
Hey, well,
Techno Station 5-7, we're on our way.
Yeah, well, there was the first fuck up. So
cool.
It had our face over the video screen, and I don't know why. And let's just get rid of that. So this is the beauty of live video. So we are talking. Sean, what do you want to talk about?
Well, I think the thing with sequels, especially with Empire Strikes Back, is how much it set the conversation in terms of whenever a sequel comes out, there's always someone who's like, oh yeah, guys, this is the Empire Strikes Back of the Pirates of the Caribbean world or whatever. So in terms of that, what do you think it is about Empire that makes it the sort of the high bar for sequels? And I'm just going to toss it out to everyone, just let you fight amongst yourselves.
Well, for me, I think the sequel, Empire Strikes Back, it brought, I don't know, I guess, real stakes, and it kind of brought the whole story down to a more of a ground level, and it brought you real feelings instead of the high flying, fun action romp that was the New Hope. It had its down moments, had its up moments, but mostly up. And the Empire made you realize that there were real consequences to all the actions that were taking place, from, destroying the Death Star. Like they weren't just going to leave that line down. They had something to happen from that. So I think that's why it did that. Plus, I mean, it introduces a ton of story elements. It really gets you to understanding what the Force is. And I mean, it's Dark and gritty, as they say.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was actually watching Empire yesterday, and I think I finally sort of cracked it in my head. Like when they say dark and gritty, it's less like the morals and stuff, but it's more that they just keep losing. Just all the way through the film, it's just this continuous loss, and in the end, like the victory is that they're still alive, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. Something else that I really didn't think about until just now. One of the things that they were up against, as far as this being such a major sequel to the first, is their budget and their effects were so much better. They had better models, better settings, better everything, and they knew the stakes were higher. They not only had to make the studio happy or make the powers that be happy. George Lucas really didn't have to make anybody except himself happy at this point, but what was riding on it because of the massive success that A New Hope was. So they had to come out swinging, and I think that really showed in the product they produced.
Yeah, I'll add a little point to that, and other than our stupid webcam covering some of the clip that we chose to play, the Hoth battle is, I think, like the real shining example of that. Like the technical achievement of doing a spaceship ground assault on screen in, what was it, 1980?
Yeah.
On white.
Yeah.
Like you could hide so much shit by doing it on a black background in the stars, but you can't hide shit. Like you can't even hide the stick that pokes pokes the AT-AT down. But like that was a big wow moment.
Oh,
Dallas,
cinema to see that in 1980 would have just been like, what?
Yeah. Did any of you guys see it
Eric,
in the cinema?
tell us about it.
Well, I remember I was 25.
What did you eat for
blah,
breakfast?
Blah,
I had a slice of toast.
and a grapefruit. And by God, when I was young,
poached egg.
But
Poached
dry
egg and
cereal.
prune juice.
I did see it in the theater, and I do remember it pretty well. I remember being shocked by it. I had sort of had an idea what was going to happen, besides like obviously the huge moment, but it floored me. When I was a little kid, I would have been 7 at the time, and it was so stunning. It's the first Star Wars blew me away, but this was like from the future. Somebody came from the future and gave us this movie to watch. That's how it felt.
That's cool.
Dallas.
And my poached egg was good. Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
I thought that's gotta have your poached egg before the cinema, otherwise why bother?
I was 2 years old, so I saw it in the theater, but I don't really remember. But having grown up in the age of VHS cassettes and rental stores starting to come up, the first movies we rented were those movies. And I remember before Return of the Jedi came out, renting Empire. I can't remember if it was on Betamax or VHS, because we had both growing up. So
we are getting... Sorry, guys. We are getting some mad dropout. I don't know why.
Yeah, they said they can't hear us or see us.
Yeah.
So good on live.
Fucking hell. Yeah, what the fuck's going on there?
Someone
Yeah.
is stuck in an
It says I'm
infinite loop
stuck.
of Matt introducing you.
What? Really? Fucking hell. Yeah, it was getting really good frame rates a second ago. Alright. So it says that we're streaming again. Alright, I don't know if you can see us or hear us again. Can anyone see us or hear us?
Literally, the last thing someone heard was
I'm
blame
hearing
Australians, man.
your playback.
Okay, hold on. The last thing... Okay, Matt Turbo said the last thing I heard was blame Australian internet.
oh, it's back.
It's
oh,
back?
Not.
What?
Oh, it's back. But they can't decide.
They can't decide?
Oh, here we go.
Alright, it's back. It's back. Holy shit.
So just
Alright, well, you know what, guys?
I'm just trying to see how...
Hey, everyone.
it is.
Sorry about that. I don't know what the hell happened, but I think I figured out one thing, that I can stop and start the stream again. So what we're going to do, sorry to everyone, is we might just fucking start again. Yeah?
So where... Okay.
We're good at talking.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I've hit record just in case. So we're gonna start all over again. So, everyone, we already know who we're talking to, what we had started speaking about, and then we just went off on our own little tangent and decided that we were going to talk and not pay attention to what you were telling us. We were going to talk about sequels and why The Empire Strikes Back did it and kind of set a bit of a benchmark for everyone else. So, Sean's just on the phone.
I'm just checking.
No, it's working?
Checking
yeah?
the feed.
All right, it's working. Yeah. So we're going to start again.
It's working, but I'm hearing it play back the whole thing that we've already done. Man. As I had the thing playing.
Really?
Yeah, it's all playing back what we just did. It's already playing now.
What, through YouTube?
Oh yeah, so it's quite delayed. So
is it in like the second attempt is playing live?
I think so.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, because there's a bit of a delay. So, all right, I am going to bring up the intro card again because I'm that kind of dickhead, and we'll go in the same order. Sorry, everyone. This is the joys of Australian fucking internet. And here we go.
Central Station 57. We're on our way.
All right, so we are back. And Sean, let's introduce the topic again and let's see if the internet works.
Where's Dad Vader? Yeah, Empire Strikes Back. It's held as the high watermark for sequels. Why would you say that is, Luke?
I would say because the Empire Strikes Back gave us real sense of dread. It gave us a sense of consequence for our actions. You think a little rebel band can destroy a Death Star and nothing happened from it? It really gave us a sense of what the Force was. It gave us some real earth-shattering changes, in parentage and our expectations of small am I, judging by my size, do you, stuff like that. It's a lot of things. There's a lot of deep meaning in there.
Yeah. I think something that we really kind of look at, and it comes up a lot with Star Wars, right? Like every time a new Star Wars comes out, if someone really freaking likes it, you always hear them in the media saying, it's the best one since Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
And I often wonder why. It's like, okay, are you looking at it from as compared to Empire just being good, or is there some kind of quality about it? And what is that quality? Eric, have you got any thoughts on that?
I think probably a big piece of it is, well, like we talked about before everything fell apart, was the visuals went up so much in this movie, between the model making, the effects overall, actually even the audio, just all of it. But I think that in this particular aspect, it's more slanted at the public acknowledgement that this was a huge thing. Everybody was talking about it. And so the general public, they've heard that The Empire Strikes Back is the best one, so that's the best one. And when people write articles like that and make claims like that, they're like, oh yeah, I have also heard that Empire Strikes Back is the best one, so yes, this must be it. I think that's a big piece of it, because it is a phenomenal movie, but I don't know that I would keep comparing all others to that sole one, personally.
Yeah, no, I can definitely agree with that, because it is it's good in terms of being a sequel as well, you know what I mean? That's a big part of why it's good, if that makes any sense. Like, Empire by itself wouldn't really make that much sense, because you need quite a lot of stuff beforehand. The opening crawl can take you so far, but you do need there's a little bit more information.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, right? Like, I think it sets a weird benchmark for other films when they get to their second chapter in a 3-part saga. It's like everyone, I think, instantly jumps to this, like, oh, is it going to be like Empire? And if it's a non-Star Wars film, it's like, you know, like I think we start stacking it up against Empire in some respect, and other films go for that whole like, let's put everyone in the worst situation that they possibly can be in.
Yeah.
But
Big
like
cliffhanger ending and all that.
yeah, and it's like everyone's trying to like one up themselves on this at the moment. Like my example of a movie that doesn't necessarily do it that well. People might want to drag me over the coals for this, but I think Infinity War it takes that Empire concept of separating the heroes, putting them in different situations, and then fucking them up, but does so, I think it does so at the sacrifice of story. Anyone have any thoughts on that, or any other examples of films that do it bad or well or whatever in between? Dallas? Anyone?
Well, I'll tell you the one that kind of struck me right away, and I realize this is not, as far as sequels not being as good as the first, this qualifies as The Matrix. So in the second movie, everything was way more bleak. And I mean, they didn't separate the people as much, but it was a definite component of the thing. And suddenly your characters who seemed invincible at the beginning are fallible. There's problems like interpersonal struggles in the ranks of the good guys. They're not all agreeing and getting along. And so suddenly it breaks all of it apart. And I feel like that is very Empire Strikes Back-ish, if you will.
I think some people just take the lesson that it has to end with a cliffhanger. You know, so for me, kind of, I think of, Matrix is a good example, or the second Pirates of the Caribbean, which is sort of a bit nothing, but it ends on a big cliffhanger, so people were like, oh, it's got that Empire-ish quality. Like, I know when Josh Whedon did Age of Ultron, he sort of came out against Empire and said that he didn't consider it to be the benchmark for a sequel because it had no ending.
Which what I always found interesting about the movie is the bad guys that was for me like the most kind of drawing to the film. Even though I love the heroes and I want to see them win, I wasn't disappointed that the bad guys won, but you have that it's kind of the feeling that the shock of that happening, but you're okay with it. It's like a strange like win, like kind of a payoff. But the cliffhanger, you feel like the good guys are going to come back and just, this is all going to be okay. You know what I mean? It's not that cliffhanger where, you know, when they do that to us, like on The Walking Dead or something like that they've done that in the past. And that's one of the things that I love about the movie most is like, I love the bad guys. And there was like so many cool like characters they introduced us to. Yeah. Like sequels back then didn't have that quality. And I think that's maybe why it's one of the better sequels ever made.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that it ended kind of bleak. It just ended with happy music, so it gave you the feeling that like everything was going to be okay in the end. You know,
and
Luke got a new hand. Yeah, everything's cool. You know, the robot stabbing him in the finger. Everything's great. But I mean, the dude just found out that the evilest man in the galaxy was his father. Han was in carbonite, and he was sucked out into somewhere else from some big gangster. You know, they're on the run. But you're right though. They still leave you with a good feeling, but that's all because of John Williams.
Yeah, that's it.
I remember when the Falcon is attached to the Star Destroyer, right? And you hear Han Solo say, "Hey, we're just gonna float away with the garbage." Like, how do you know? You know, like there was this whole backstory behind that world. What? How's Han Solo know? Like, that was kind of a fun thing about the film. There was little things about that in it.
Yeah. I'm gonna. Oh, sorry. Go, Eric.
Something else the movie did too is in the original Star Wars we see the Empire and they're supposed to be big and scary, and I mean for Christ's sake, they got a Death Star and they blew up a planet, but for the most part they're a bunch of punk bitches because seriously, a small group of people broke out of this impenetrable fortress of theirs, took off, and a bunch of ragtag Lord of the Flies hooligans essentially came and blew up the Death Star. In this movie, they're they're for reals. Look at all these Star Destroyers. Look at this. Hey, good news. We froze your boyfriend. We're going to kill Luke Skywalker. We're going to do all this. That really upped the ante for the Empire. So I think it gave a lot of credence to what they were about. Because before, honestly, they weren't that scary. Until you see that scene where Darth Vader and Luke are fighting and he's using the Force to throw stuff at him and he's completely defeated emotionally, then you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
These guys are for real. They're not messing around.
Yeah. What's really Alderaan blowing up is kind of the one big bad thing that you see the Empire do in the first movie. And it's there for a couple of seconds, and Leia doesn't react, and that's a whole side conversation. But other than that, it's just a lot of talking. It's a lot of boardroom shit.
Yeah.
And the rebels off doing their thing.
Well, and as terrible as this sounds, I can't remember who this quote is attributed to, but there's an idea that the death of 1 million people is a statistic. The death of a single person is a tragedy. As an individual. And so when you see this planet get blown up, you never saw anybody on it. You didn't see any of that. But then you see Obi-Wan Kenobi. We've seen him, been watching him for an hour and 30 minutes by the time he disappears. It's like, oh, that hurts.
And it's
true
as well.
Yeah. And the characters kind of act that same exact way, especially Princess Leia.
Yeah. It's such an interesting contrast, and you do get into Empire then, and I get when you hear about people's reactions to first seeing it for the first time, it was a bit of a gut punch for some people. There were people that loved it, and then there were some critics that were just like, no, it's too much. It's trying too hard to be dark and all this sort of stuff. And fast forward to today, 40 years later or something like that, isn't it? In the American Archives or something like the Library of Congress. It's one of those archived films. It's there with Fargo and a couple of other things.
Yeah, Fargo's an interesting choice for example.
I was wondering what made you pick that.
You're like Godfather, Citizen Kane.
I didn't pick it. The U.S. government.
Did you want to stuff somebody in a wood chipper?
Well,
yes.
Today, yeah.
It's sunny.
Don't we all?
It's Saturday morning here, man. It's nice weather. We're just getting into summer. It's a good wood chipping day. People chipping. I've got one last question about that ending to Empire before we go over to the next topic. Hold on, wait. Looks like we've got
a little bit of refreshing.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna
live TV.
Starting again. All right,
we're
back.
Technical difficulties.
All right, we're back up. So, right before we go into our second topic, and apologies again for the dropout, but I can monitor it a little bit easier now. So, you brought up earlier, you see Luke get his new hand at the end, and that's the only reason why you feel like things are a little bit upbeat.
And the music.
When Luke's getting his new hand and he's getting his fingers poked, did you think to yourself, I wonder if he can wank with that hand? Or is he going to rip it off? Is it going to be like The Stranger? Like what? I mean, he's got feeling there, but is it the same feeling?
The Robo Stranger. It's got a setting for vibrate.
Eric wasn't prepared for this. He thought you were better than Dallas.
Yeah, no. I didn't realize I was on a show with multiple Dallases.
You've met me.
That is true.
I said bum squirt in a podcast the other day. Friends of the Force.
Lost their monetization.
Yeah, lost them some followers. Actually, maybe this is a question while we move on to the next topic in the live chat. Do you think Luke had full sensation when touching himself with his new hand after The Empire Strikes Back? So you put your answers in there.
That is on the agenda.
Yeah, that's on the agenda. We'll get some answers to that later. And
can we throw this one out there?
Yeah.
Could he just use the Force to do it while he was just sitting there? Yeah. Just like this?
Yeah, that'd be better.
Now who brought that up in a podcast recently? Was it Canto Bite?
I think it was on a tweet.
Yeah.
Probably.
Someone mentioned it as a whole thing, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
was Emily and Brittany were talking about it. I actually just finished listening to the episode the other day. They were talking about, I think it was Yaddle and whether Yaddle squirts, and whether Yaddle would need to use the Force to do it because Yaddle's got sharp fingernails. So that was an interesting thing to come up, and I'm glad that
I
we're all.
was not ready for this.
Yeah, same.
Hey.
I really wish I hadn't brought my kids up here.
Oh, Thomas, ancient.
I'm just
Earmuffs, children. Earmuffs, please.
All right, well, there's the two questions for the chat room. Can Luke wank with full dexterity, and could he use the Force to do it instead?
Someone's saying it's an ancient Jedi technique.
Yeah.
Molly Thomas, I think you're right.
Yeah, he said ow when being poked, so that implies full sensation.
Yeah, okay, I'll buy that. Yeah, buy that.
Yeah.
All right. So let's transition to the next one. We're going to get some nice little video overlay, and let's see if it kills the goddamn internet again.
Let's find out.
It is your destiny. Join me, and together we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
All right, cool. It didn't seem to kill the internet, but I'm just watching that buffer. We'll see. All right. It says that we're still streaming. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, we're going to keep talking through it, and if it fucks up, we'll just stop and start again like we did the other time. So
It's working.
seems to be working. Did you see like the whole like Vader reveal
going right now.
scene? Yep, sweet. Okay.
All right.
So
Yeah.
there is a bit of a delay, obviously, anyway, so it's all good. The next topic that we're going to bring up, and this is one of the things that I thought would be interesting to get your perspectives on, because I know you are all fathers. So we are going to talk about the Dad Vader reveal, and the reason why I wanted to bring this up and get your perspective from being not fathers when you first saw it to now being fathers is actually nothing to do with Star Wars. It's to do with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie. Something that has stuck with me since I was a kid was I remember going to the cinema with my dad to see it, and there's a scene in it where Master Splinter says to, I can't remember which of the turtles, about fathers always loving their sons, and he got super fucking teary. And he, like, in the cinema, he's like, turns to me, goes, "That's true." And I was like, I was a young kid. This is like 1991 or something like that. And I was like, "Shut up. We're watching the movie. Be quiet." But it stuck out. So I wanted to get your
Number
perspective
one,
on
you're
that.
a fake fan because it was Raphael.
It was Raphael that he said it to?
Raphael,
It was.
And Splinter said, "All fathers care for their sons."
Wow.
I've been
I've said
schooled.
that movie way too many times.
Hey man, you should start a YouTube channel about like how much of a fake fan I am of the Ninja Turtles.
That's it.
Seriously, if you need any lessons, on how to do this shit, maybe don't ask me, because obviously I'm fucking this thing up and like everything's
Yeah.
streaming.
So yeah, it has to be a fake fan thing, and it has to be a live stream, and Matt has to run it.
This is Star Wars, man. We're full of fake fans. That's how it goes.
That's,
Baby.
that's what it is.
So, the question then, and whoever wants to take this first, is like, when you were a kid and the Dad Vader reveal thing happened, did that have any impact to you? And how do you react to that now? Like, do you have feelings that have changed now that you are dads?
When I saw it the first time, I thought Vader was like horror on Earth, you know? So as a kid, it was really hard to compartmentalize. You're like, oh, okay, Obi-Wan said something about that in the last okay, you know, and then you kind of start to deal with it. It really taught me how to think about complex issues. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like the world isn't what it seems. And then as a kid, as an adult, I don't think it impacts me as much as a father, but I loved seeing my children's reactions to the first time they saw that. So and seeing that they kind of had a similar experience to me a million years later.
Yeah.
Eric?
So when I was a kid, same thing with you, Dallas. I thought Vader was the scariest thing ever. I mean, he's unstoppable. Yeah. He's this big hulking menace who has these powers that he can hurt you from across the room without having to touch you. And Luke Skywalker was my hero. And so his reaction kind of mirrored my own, like internally. Like it made me want to puke because I'm thinking this can't be true. I mean, I'm a little kid. I think now that I think about it, I was probably 6 when I saw the movie. And it's very much one of those no kind of things because I'm like, this can't be, man. My whole sense of self is wrapped up in the Luke Skywalker, and now Darth Vader is his dad. Now, years and years later, not necessarily with my kids, but when I was married to my ex-wife, her son, Connor, who, oh man, I haven't seen that kid in forever, but hope you're doing well, buddy. If you ever see this, you won't, but if you do. Dude, I can tell from the look on his face when he first saw Empire Strikes Back. He couldn't verbalize it, but I know he was thinking, whoa, guess my dad's not as much of a dick as I thought.
For me, it kind of hit me differently. Like I saw it for the first time probably when I was probably 10 or 11 years old. I borrowed the trilogy that was dubbed from TV from a cassette from my friends, and I had lots of I don't want to get too deep with this, but I had lots of dad issues, I guess, because my real father was gone when I was 1, so I never knew him. And so when that reveal happened in Empire, it kind of hit me differently as a young kid because it's like, oh man, like what if like my dad is some super evil dude and I meet him someday? You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like one of those things because I was raised by my mom and obviously Luke didn't have his mom, but like it was just it hit me differently. And as a father,
hold on. Pause it. Hold the thought. Go.
And as a father now, like it's kind of like I kind of like weirdly hope that my kids don't ever view me as a Darth Vader, like as this ruthless dude who's just like got to have it his way, and you join me and do what I do, or else you're just a complete fuck up. You know what I mean? Like it's what's so funny, Strothers?
What are you laughing at, Eric?
The first time Max saw you with your CPAP was he's like, oh shit, it's starting.
Yes. The turn has happened. Yeah, no, I just really hope that my kids don't view me as this overbearing asshole, and that's exactly what he is. And he turns at the end, but of course, I mean, too little, too late, Dad. Yeah, that's kind of how I view it as a son and as a dad.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no recollection of ever not knowing that Darth Vader was Luke's father, because like born in 1984, my brother watched them religiously on VCR and all that. So it was a weird one. I've never had that. For me, there's no point before I knew. I always knew. And I guess sort of the realization as you become a teenager is you watch it and you're just like, oh, Darth Vader fucks. There you go.
Speaking of old ways to see the movies, my friend growing up, my best friend who lived across the street, his dad was one of those divorced dads that would get like stuff for the kids because he wasn't ever there. Mm-hmm. And he got him a Laserdisc player. Ooh, and he had Empire on the Laserdisc and A New Hope, and we watched the shit. I think we watched that clear through the 90s because it was awesome quality clear through the late 90s.
Let me ask you this, Dallas. Do you remember where in Empire that you had to put the thing in and flip the disc back over?
Oh, that's right. I think it was like was it at the end of the asteroid scene?
I don't remember. I feel like A New Hope was the tracker beam.
Yeah,
it was them.
Yeah, I think that was about halfway where you had to flip the disc over. Oh, yeah. Totally worth it, by the way, because the quality was amazing.
Oh yeah, stunning.
Laserdisc never took off here. No. Like there's just certain things that completely leapfrogged this country, like
Internet.
mini disc as well. Like it never.
Oh really? You never got mini disc?
Not,
I was
not
nuts for mini disc.
really. Like you could get them, but the only people that had them were like people that did sound sampling and shit like that.
Oh nah.
Whereas like I know you could go to like places like Japan and other countries, and albums like music albums were released on mini disc. And that's where most people got their mini disc players. They were just like big music nerds and stuff like that. But yeah, Laserdisc was just never a thing here. So like we just had our VHS until DVD.
Did you have Betamax for the very small amount that was out?
I think we did. I don't think it was much of a thing. My dad actually, funnily enough, worked in consumer electronics, and I questioned him once. I was like, Dad, what's beta? And he just said to me, he goes, "You son, you're a beta." No, he didn't. He didn't say that, but he didn't. But,
Steve's still crying about Master Splinter. Just like every time he looks at you, he starts weeping.
Maybe the Vader reveal affected him in some way. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, he explained what beta was, and he basically just said it's like video, but no one likes it.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, cool. That was about the explanation I got. Side note then to the Dad Vader reveal, because I think it is the all important question. One, do you know anyone that doesn't know that Darth Vader is Luke's father? And if they hadn't seen Star Wars, would you make them watch it in release order to save that reveal?
I have some friends that recently bought the entire movie collection. I would not give them the Blu-rays. I made them take the DVDs. Like, if you wreck one of these, you can wreck this.
We're gonna drop. I'm just gonna do a quick stop and go. Yep.
Okay, so I let him take the DVDs because I didn't want him wrecking my Blu-rays just in case. And I don't think the wife had ever seen any Star Wars movie. I don't think she knew who the characters were. I don't think they understood any of that. And I intended to have them on the podcast, by the way, and I never have been able to lock them up to find out like their take on it. Regardless, I encourage him to watch it in release order because, I mean, honestly, for my thing, that's how I watched them. And my Star Wars experience has been amazing. And it's my entire life revolves around it. If you could see the backside of my computer, it's billions of dollars.
Show us your backside.
I'm afraid to move my computer. But anyway, I wanted them to get that. I wanted them to have the shock of, holy crap. And it definitely did. It hit them. It hit them hard. Yeah. So that was cool.
Yeah, anyone else?
I probably have a few people at my work who have no idea about anything Star Wars because I work with a bunch of idiots who've not even seen Jaws. And it's a constant struggle in my life. I have nobody to talk to about Star Wars or anything cool. So I just delve into the podcast and talk to none of them because I hate them all. But I do think it's hard. I know like the release order thing is a big deal, but I don't think that the impact is any less. If you watch it in release order and you find out on the second thing you watch that Vader is Luke's dad, I don't think it ruins the rest of the movies like a lot of people claim that it does. I think it just I think you just realize, oh hey, there's more movies about before Vader was an absolute dick. Like we what happened, what made that happen, and then you can just deal with it like we did. It was we're fine, everything's cool, you know. So I agree with Eric. He's been saying forever that the release order is the way to go, and I still think that's true.
Yeah. Dallas?
I agree. No reason to, copy their sentiments. That's how I would do it because the reveal was so poignant.
Yeah, interesting. So I've got a real world example. It's like one of my closest friends. She's had up until recently never really seen a Star Wars movie, except for like little bits of Return of the Jedi as a kid. Like she just remembers, she goes, the one with the big slug, and I'm like, yeah, that one. And I think a lot of people, saw that just because it was kind of the kiddie movie, right? So, we've started a marathon, and I thought, no, you know what? Fuck it. George said, episode order, I'm doing episode order. And the big decider about it, because I was a bit up in the air, and I was like, and so I gave her some options. I was like, do you want to do some like time jumps? Do you want to like start in the middle, go back, then go forward? And she was like, oh, I could do that. I'm like, or do you want to like see it chronologically? And she ultimately just deferred to me. And I said, all right, well, we're going to do it this way. And the thing that was a real decider was, I said, do you know who Darth Vader is? And she goes, yeah, it's Luke Skywalker's father. And I was like,
yeah,
okay. So there you go. It's so like,
yeah.
It's so ingrained in pop culture that someone who's never seen any of it just knows this. So yeah, we started watching the prequels, and we've just finished episode 3. And she said to me, it was funny, like after we finished watching episode 3, she's like, I'm really glad that we're doing it in this order, because like seeing him turn into the bad guy that I already knew about has been super fucking interesting. And I'm like, yeah, cool. That's kind of cool. And I think like once you get maybe then yet to see, because like we've got to keep going, but once we get to the original trilogy, maybe the perspective is going to be knowing the information that Luke doesn't. So like we, the audience member, have something on Luke. It's like we know what's coming. We can anticipate that he's going to get fucked up. And that thing that he's kind of longing for, like that sense of family and all that sort of stuff, that's going to crush him. So like I'm really interested to see how she reacts to that.
That's a really cool point of view. I think if you have the opportunity to be surprised by it, I definitely would recommend seeing it in release order. But and the other thing that the release order does is it lets you see Anakin as a little kid, thinking, how the hell does he get to what we know is going to happen?
Yeah.
But if you don't have that opportunity and you do start at the prequels, it's still a great ride. And you're right. You're sitting there, you know something this character doesn't. Which honestly, that's how most movie franchises work anyway. You already know what the bad guy's doing.
Yeah.
So it definitely merits for both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Release order's the way to do it.
I don't know if you two read any of the books or anything like Eric and Dallas and I do, but like I look at it as this way. I know we're all diehard Star Wars fans, maybe it's a little bit different, but we are never going to be upset that we get a book that takes place 30 years before A New Hope. You know what I mean? Or in any era. We're just happy to get it and know more about the overall story. I mean, if you think about Star Wars as a whole, it's about filling in the gaps. There's all kinds of stories on, and we have these 9 broad tales, and there's a bunch of smaller stories in between them. So I don't really think it. I honestly started to think that it doesn't really have an impact. I think if you started at 4 or 1, I think you'll have a similar feeling. I don't think it matters as much as we think it does.
Yeah. I would actually agree. Like I think people like us, the big fucking super nerds, we argue about it. Like we argue about it. No one else actually really gives a shit.
That's true.
Like not like we do.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Now, I don't want to take the show off on a whole different tangent.
No,
Let me throw this out here real quick while we're talking about it. I emailed Blue Harvest about this one time, and Will said that he thought there was like a name for this order, and I hadn't heard of it before. It just occurred to me. But what if you went, like instead of the machete order, what if you went 4, 5, 6, up to the point where they're having the father-son cookout on the deck, and he says, no, it's too late for me, son. And then you go back to the Phantom Menace. Right there. We'll watch it all the way up to the end of the Revenge of the Sith, and then right back to that same scene where he says the Emperor's your new master now.
Ooh.
So then the story really gets you hard.
That's pretty cool.
I've heard of similar things. I don't know if there's a name for that, but there's other things like that I've heard about where people have done like their own little supercuts of it, where they've just chopped out things like the opening crawls. They've inserted scenes and rearranged and framed things as flashbacks. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I don't dig it either. But like, I think if you were gonna do that, I think you could make it work if you I think you could make it work if you treated it as flashbacks and didn't have to show the whole story. Because they're like, rather than like going whole film as an insert, maybe you just take a chunk from the previous one, put a nice like Shure soft filter over it, and like, you know, go, yeah, ooh, it's the dreamy flashback, and then come back.
Yeah.
Zoom in real hard and have it to where you just see it in the lenses of Darth Vader's mask. The movie
Oh
playing out.
god.
But then the implication there is this, like,
everything.
Luke's just been stood in front of Vader for like 9 hours. Well, he's just rethought his entire life. Darth Vader's like, why am I thinking about things I wasn't even present for?
You're like, Luke becomes old man Luke from The Last Jedi. It's just like,
Yeah, this is what happens in the cave on Dagobah.
Yeah.
He's like staring off in space for like 20 minutes, but he feels like it's like 6 years.
Yeah.
And my father is truly gone.
I'm so tired.
all right, let's unless anyone's got something else to add to that topic, I think we jump onto the third, which is actually, before I introduce it, does anyone have anything else to say about that topic? No, Dad Vader, no, spent. All right, we're done. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna play a little video again. All right, chat room people, if this fucks up, tell me.
Told you I did. Reckless as he. Now, matters are worse.
That boy is our last hope.
No.
All right, we've got the video back. So we are talking about our hype for The Rise of Skywalker, and specifically if there are things from The Empire Strikes Back that we would like to see in the next film. And apologies to everyone, I can see that my camera is doing a weird autofocus thing. It's probably a good thing. I look like shit today.
You just look extra shaggy.
Yeah. Sean looks good. I mean, he always looks good.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I might just go over here.
He looks like he could be a stunt double in Clerks.
Oh, man.
You know, I can't remember the character.
Just send him a glitter bomb, Sean. Just send him a glitter bomb. He deserves it.
Will do. Incredible. Anyway.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so basically, episode 9 is 70 days away, I believe.
Less than. Less than now.
Less than?
69.
Oh. Nice.
69, dude!
What she said.
She said.
So, based on that, what are you hyped for? Or, what do you want to see from Empire Strikes Back in 9? Like, not necessarily characters, but possibly characters, themes, or ideas, or anything like that.
Robot hand masturbation.
Robot hand masturbation.
Number 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to say what themes you want to see from Empire into the final movie, because I mean, it's, if we're gonna kind of carry it on, I mean, I would think you'd be closer to the pick stuff from Return of the Jedi, but I would say probably parentage. I think we're gonna look into that way, find out more about what's going on with Rey and all that good stuff. I'm sure something's gonna come up, maybe through a vision. Maybe she'll find another cave, and have another vision. But I don't know, Dallas, Eric, you have a thought on that? Things that you'd want to see in this movie that carry over from Empire?
Well, I think like a visit from the Force ghost of the person who got you there. To see Luke Skywalker pop up the same way Obi-Wan did when he tries to talk his way out of, sorry, I sent you to Dagobah here. Go get busy. Something like that, where you see Obi-Wan on Hoth sending him. So something like that with Luke, I think, would be cool to see, since the original mentor, now is gone. Or the person who was supposed to be your mentor, he was really a piece of shit for a mentor. But you know what I mean.
Dallas.
I need a good dose of Lando, and I was thinking about this.
Yeah.
I need a Bespin casino shot that they gave us in the new canon. Because there's a casino at Bespin. I want to see it. Yeah.
Yep.
Is that in the last shot book, or what's that in?
Where did we learn that from? I think it wasn't last shot.
I think
it was the Han. It was the Hanan.
No, it was last shot.
It was last shot. It was last shot.
Last shot. That is a good one. That is a very good book. I did enjoy that.
So if he's going to be in this movie, I'm not saying they have to do it, and I wouldn't be disappointed if they did, but it would be pretty cool that they meet up with him back at Bespin.
Yeah, I think same. I want to see him in full kind of old man with his cane, administrator, and just sort of the luring him back into the game, back into the grand game. He's like, what the fuck's taking you so long? Come on.
Well, then while we're on that subject, I want to see him pilot the Falcon and put on Han's old clothes.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
But
so good.
Technically, they might be his clothes that Han stole when he took the Falcon. You know what I mean? So, like, we know that Lando had a full wardrobe, so maybe...
Well, the costume that he wears to rescue Han has been on the Falcon for this whole time, as we learned from Solo. So, maybe the clothes have been there too. So, maybe that's just something that we've all been taking for granted.
Yeah, they're just sharing clothes.
Solo is the thief. Solo is the clothes thief.
I just purchased this pop with him in Donald Glover's Lando's clothes.
Yeah.
With the Billy D. Williams, so I'm assuming we're going to see that. I hope so.
We already saw it in the trailer.
Yeah, it was yellow thing. Yeah, and then that little promotional picture.
I need to go watch it again. Anyway.
Did you get, Dallas, did you get teary when you saw that trailer at Celebration, or that teaser for the first time in Orlando? It was like, yeah!
You know when you get that shower of goosebumps?
Yeah.
Sometimes that's what it was. It just goes
one of
through
many
your
types
body.
of shower, yeah.
Sploosh.
Yeah, I did have soiled undies after that. It was.
Well, there's video of it, isn't there?
Oh yeah.
Video of his reaction.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, that was a really cool discovery. And sorry to fucking derail, but who was it? It was
Bombad.
Yeah, the Bombad cast guys were standing next to me when we were watching the teaser, and I hadn't met the guys yet. I didn't know them, and I remember walking away from that teaser at Celebration and going, there was a dude next to me that was losing his shit. Like it was like Beatles mania. And like meanwhile, like I'm standing there and I had chewing gum, and I remember just like chewing really hard, and
you can just see.
And in this, so this guy captured it. There's a camera on him. There's a camera on
the guy
guys from. Is it from the Star Wars News Network or from the Republic Broadcast? I can't remember who the other guys are.
This real like triangulation of fire.
Three things in the video, and you can see just the side of my head pulsing, and then in one of the other lenses you can see my face, and where the emotional bits happen, you can see me just going, like this, and meanwhile Scotty is like just flipping his fucking lid. And I remember walking away from that and I was like going, I should have just done what he did, because like I had a headache and a sore stomach from like holding the tears in. And discovering that video existed on the internet, and I didn't know this dude. I was like, it just popped up on Twitter, and I'm like,
hold on,
that's the side of my head.
I know that bulge.
I know that vein from that temple.
I know those stress marks.
I'm glad mine wasn't on video, because I think I scared a preteen when I went when I saw it.
That was just you at Celebration pretty much all the time.
In general.
Yep.
Fuck yes. Little kids walk by. Shut up, Dallas. Bring your kids. Bring your kids to a kid thing. How dare you?
I was just thinking about this. So Chris Sequel from the Star Wars Underworld and I were up on Media Row waiting, and so all these other news outlets are there, and there's Sequel, there's me. He and I both have our headphones in, watching it on our phones. and people are talking. We're like, oh, what? Oh! Yeah, so we were idiots too. Just nobody got film of it.
Me and Tim were too busy forcing our way into one of the spillover rooms when we didn't have a ticket for it to get too emotional about it. But we got in there just in time. It was really cool. I don't know, man. I mean, overall, like, what is like your two like what is your overall hype level for the end of this saga?
What's the top of the screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually I'm finding myself drifting towards like Star Wars leaks on Reddit and shit like that. Like I've hit that level of hype. I'm just getting these little tastes. And I just saw that like a noted podcaster and Twitterer who usually drops all these kind of leaks has like retracted them all. So I was like, ooh, let's have a look at this. And I looked and I read like an idea of what someone said, like, oh, my inside sources say this is what the plot's going to be. And I sort of read that and I was like, this sounds absolutely awful, completely unbelievable, and just fan fiction that's falling apart. So now that, and then for some reason that's got me even more hyped because I'm just like, yeah, this stuff's crap and this isn't going to be the film. It's all going to be, I'm totally hyped as anything because
you also got to think though, if somebody had told you exactly everything that happened in The Last Jedi from a beat by beat standard, just without any emotional dialogue, anything else in it, you might have felt differently when you first heard that too. Yeah. Like Luke Skywalker is going to project himself from across the galaxy. You're like, that's fucking dumb. Why would they do that? And then you see it on the screen, you're like, oh, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. Okay, you know. So I mean, there's always context, with actually seeing it. But but I get what you're saying. Like totally. I mean, that's how it comes across when you see things. I saw some of those leaks. Some I thought were cool, but overall, like I'm with you. I just want to see it so bad. I'll take anything, bullshit or not, just to keep my mind working around it and come up with my own theories. And then I feel like when you do that, everybody's like, oh, I want to stay blank. I want to stay blank. Like, well, I want to think about it though. So I'll take little bits of information, so that when the time comes, if it's completely different, my mind just exploded and everything's so great. I like spoilers have never bugged me when it comes to the Star Wars movies. Because it's never exactly the way I thought it was going to be. TV shows are different for me for some reason because you're watching them like week by week. So like if somebody spoils you, you son of a bitch, like but like it's different. I'm so here to know everything about Star Wars that it doesn't bug me to see leaks real or not. So,
that's it. Every time you go and it's like, here's a blurry picture of a Lego minifigure that might be involved with the film or might not. I'm like, oh yeah, give me that. Give me more of that.
The Triple Force Friday stuff, I found really, really comical because, of course, they're just fucking toys, but people are like picking apart every detail. They're just pieces of plastic.
How goddamn dare you? You goddamn this live stream is over.
This show's done. Yeah.
Matt,
we're gone.
Thanks for having us. Not really. See you later.
Well, sorry.
Now, something that we actually forgot to talk about this on the Bad Motivators this week, but it was released. There was somebody from Hasbro said that there was something like up to 65% of the toys for this movie are being held back because of potential spoilers. So there's something to be said.
A lot of Force ghosts
nitpicking these toys, man.
Yeah. But I guess that's also the point, though, isn't it? Like we've seen that they've held things back in the past to avoid spoilers, like Rey being who Rey is. So like, I see the videos and people picking apart the stuff that they did show on Triple Force Friday, and I was like, yeah, that stuff's not going to be anything. I mean, like the most. I think probably the most interesting thing that I thought was Babu Frick. And it's like a droid reprogrammer. And I'm like, fucking 3PO. But who knows? That could just be a droid programmer.
Oh,
like
actually,
he could be there for 3 fucking seconds. Like,
yes.
And we'll love him so much.
Oh my god, I would die for him.
Work computer.
Before I forget, when we talk about things we want to see more of from Empire in Episode 9, I want to see more 3PO. Like I did notice when I was watching the film yesterday, like once they get to Cloud City, Anthony Daniels is just killing it in everything he does, right the way to the end. Every line of dialogue, he does some good exposition that feels kind of not info dumpy. It's great, and I didn't realize how much I missed 3PO and R2 in the sequels until I started doing this rewatch. And you're like, yeah, they have sort of been replaced by, I guess, BB-8. But I want to see, now I'm starting to see the idea that there's going to be more 3PO in episode 9. I am like, that's what I want. I think Anthony Daniels should have like the last word, because he's been there from day one. Come back for
It'll
more.
be just like Celebration this year and every
Yeah.
day.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. That was so good. I was so happy with that way. He was just like, yeah, this is my fucking moment. Give me that mic.
Now here's my book. Buy it.
Yeah.
I think
I agree with you that the end of Empire is like the best 3PO, because he's just bitching the whole time because he's all in pieces and nobody's taking the time to fix him. He's like, please, just fix me. And R2's like, dude, I'm trying to actually save our lives for being a bitch. So, like, it's a whole thing. But,
so good.
Yeah, I think you're gonna get your wish with 3PO in this new movie. I mean, we saw him come up with the red eyes and all that good shit. So, and, if you read spoilers about that, you know what's going on. But like, it's I'm with you. I hope Anthony gets to go out with a bang for sure.
Yeah.
I'm feeling the same way.
Literally explode.
I don't think he's gonna die. Like I think we've seen part of the end scene in the teasers. Like it looks like they're standing looking at a giant fucking celebration, and that would be really weird to have a giant celebration in the middle of the movie. Like I think either that or it's like, so the First Order is taking over this rave planet, and they're gonna really lean into the Matrix sequels, and all right, so we're gonna have like a mid-film rave. Yeah. And then shit's going to get fucked up. But I don't think that's Star Wars. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. So, who's in that scene? 3PO? Chewie?
All of them.
And I think you see a little bit of BB-8. They look like, I think they're going to survive it. But there's no fucking R2, and I want to know where R2 is. That's my thing. I want more R2. Similar reason to Sean saying 3PO in Empire. Like, the two of them, their dynamic in Empire is just phenomenal. And he's kind of been languishing a little bit, and I don't know if it's because hold on, he's bringing it up. Yeah, BB-8 is. Yeah, Sean's just bringing up the screen capture. Yeah, BB-8 is in that scene.
Yeah.
So with R2, I don't know if it's because Kenny Baker has passed away. Maybe it's like, maybe they've said, oh well, there's not that kind of. Oh, hold on, I think we've dropped stream.
Sorry guys, one sec.
Sorry, I don't know. Give me stream. All right, stream. All right, we're back. I don't know how much of that got missed. I was just talking shit anyway. Give me 3PO and give me R2, and I'll be a happy chappy.
Okay, so last one before we go to questions.
No.
Oh, sorry, you got something?
Oh no, I was just gonna say I would like to see more R2 also.
Yeah.
He had such a huge part. I mean, George Lucas went out of his way to get him and 3PO into the prequels.
Yeah.
To the point where almost like you're getting hit over the head by it. But especially with R2-D2. I mean, Kenny Baker's not in there, but that droid is forever associated with him. So I think it'd be a good tribute to Kenny to have a little bit more R2-D2 in this.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
Sorry, you were going to say something and then...
No, I changed my mind. Next thing.
Yeah, all right, cool. So let's go into our second last section. So we're going to go into Q&A. We're going to announce the winner of last episode's competition as well. So we're going to jump into Q&A, and let me just do the transition because that's super important. Viewer Q&A. Oh wait, now I'm going to turn it off. How do I turn it off? Fucking hell. All right. Yeah. Viewer Q&A. All right. So, Sean, you were closest to the questions, except for one of them, because we've got a Patreon question. And
let's do that one first.
So, how I think we're going to do this, because we've got a slew of them, and I think so we get through them all. Let's we'll take a question, and whoever is the question master will say who gets to answer it. So our only Patreon question comes from Michael Condon, and he said the answer must be Star Wars related. Oh, fucking Michael. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? Luke.
What?
Wait, is any of you guys know Monty Python? Or are you too
I'm not
American
much
for that?
Of a Python head. What about you, Eric? You know?
I don't know how to express it in Star Wars terms, but I will say this, that if you really want to do math, man, they use meters and the kilometers, so we'd have to come up with something like that.
Just say 12 parsecs.
Yeah, we could just say parsecs.
Just say, the velocity is 12 parsecs. Done.
All right, cool.
That's
so,
fair enough, yeah.
All right, Sean is now
Fucking
question
Condon.
master. Yeah, fucking Michael, thank you.
Okay, Gary at Moth Monster Man G said, do you think an unarmed Chewbacca could go toe-to-toe with a Wampa if they had a fight in neutral weather conditions? If not, could any Wookiee?
All right, who are you going to give that to?
Dallas, we got.
So you want me to give a nature documentary on who's gonna win that fight?
So Chewbacca versus a Wookiee. Versus a Wookiee versus a Wampa.
Wampa and neutral like climate, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna go to Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Arms.
Just cunning. Yeah, arms off, cunning. Yeah.
Skilled tactician,
Yeah.
warrior.
Yeah. Great
Chewbacca
pilot.
climbed that Wampa like a Warshak tree, man. Just chop him down.
No, and if he hadn't come at him come at me, bro, you know that's how the Wampa is.
Yeah.
He would have realized he could have just taken a nap in Chewbacca's lap. I mean, it's warm there.
Yeah.
And probably a little smelly.
Yeah.
And you have a Minoc roast, it's all forgiven.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got next?
Okay, Matthew Turban?
It's Turbo.
Oh, yes, Turbo. Turbo1975 has asked, how does the Wampa manage to hang Luke upside down with his boots frozen to the roof of the ice cave? Eric.
Well, this has come up a time or 10. No, stop it. I see what you're doing. And Dallas has always speculated that it's Wampa piss.
I think
He
it's
holds them
Wampa
up there
piss.
and
Oh, it's 100%
pees on
Wampa
it,
piss,
and
isn't
it
it? Of course it
freezes.
is.
Yeah, it's
So,
Wampa piss.
Yeah, that's what I always think.
I would assume, like maybe he uses his breath or something to melt it. Past that, I have no idea.
Don't wake up.
I mean, honestly, as much as I
Dallas, close your mouth.
It looks so
I hate to
tasty.
say what I'm getting ready to say, but Dallas's theory on this is really the only thing that makes any sense. Said out loud.
And that's it, guys.
The whole world is just turned upside down.
It's done.
A little story. The first time I went to New York, it was 2002. It was the coldest winter in New York's history since 1911. And I watched a Great Dane in the Upper East Side go for a piss on the street corner. Piss. I went to the Chinese restaurant to get some takeaway food, and it was frozen by the time I came back. So I think it could be Wampa piss.
Well, I mean,
that.
you've seen the boiling water trick, right? Well, I mean, you guys, I don't know if you guys get it gets that cold in Australia, but like, yeah, if it's like below like probably negative 10 or 15 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what the Celsius is on that. But you boil water, throw it out in freezing air, it'll just freeze instantly. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Who the fuck lives in conditions like that?
Russians.
Seriously.
hello.
Jessica Schrader.
Just move. We'll take you. Coldest it gets here is like 6 Celsius.
Yeah.
It's
pretty good.
It's pretty
That's
good.
not terrible.
No, it's pretty good.
The internet sucks.
It's just windy. That's all.
Yeah.
It's like San Francisco wind, and it's just like hits you and makes you feel uncomfortable. That's about the worst we get.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Life's uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Not
life's
frozen
pretty good.
in your car.
No,
Yeah, that's it.
no. You got to stop putting your tongue on your car, though.
It's fun.
All right, next question.
Next one from Alice at Slayer All Day.
It's Force Toast Alice.
It's us, Force Toast Alice.
Yeah.
Why do so many people think the line is Luke, I am your father?
Oh, now, before we answer that question, there is actually, I'm going to just play what the line actually is for everyone.
Listen to me, dickhead. I'm your fucking dad. Don't make me come over there and cut the other one off.
Not true. That's impossible.
Look, it's kinder fucking surprise to me too, mate.
Alright, we're back. I'm really proud of that one.
So,
as we know, the line is, as we've just heard, "Oi, you fucking dickhead, I'm your dad." So, why do people get it confused?
Well, as somebody says in the chat, somebody says the Mandela effect and whatever. But the first time I ever remember hearing it that way was fucking Tommy Boy, where he's talking into the fan, the Chris Farley goes, "Luke, I am your father." Blah, blah, blah. And to me, that's where people get it, at least around here, because we got a bunch of idiots watch that movie over Star Wars, don't know anything. Yeah. As somebody who's named Luke in my entire life, people will come to me going, "Luke, I am your." I'm like, it's not the line, you piece of shit. And you know, I have to correct them, and they're like, "Okay, I was just making a quick. Apparently, I hit a nerve with you." It's just one of those things that just once it gets into the psyche.
And go.
It's just one of those things that once it gets into the psyche of the people, it just circulates and circulates and circulates, and before you know it, people just hear it when they think of that line, or somebody brings up Darth Vader or whatever. It's the first thought that comes in their head. But if they actually knew what was happening in that scenario, they'd realize there's no reason for him to say, "Luke, I am your father." It's no, I am your father.
Yeah,
so,
but Luke's not going to be like, "Sorry, were you talking to me? Were you addressing me? I'm sorry, I just need some clarification."
And Alice has just said in the live chat that it comes up in trivia a lot. And if anyone would know that, it would be Alice and Laura from Force Toast. Those two kill trivia. They absolutely slay. Oh, and while we're doing it, Laura, kick ass at Schmodown.
Yes.
Okay, next question, or next two questions. So, Mark of the Covenant at I am El Diablito.
Hey, Mark.
Hello, Mark. He has two questions. So the first question is, do you think Lando and Leia would have hooked up if Han was never retrieved? Luke's pointing. He's on it.
Dallas. That's a Dallas question.
That's a Dallas question.
He totally would.
Yeah?
Like, he's okay stealing the Falcon back, but I don't think he's like a dude where he would steal one of his friend's ladies. But like, if Han's out of the picture, you bet your ass.
Would it be like one of those movies set in like the 1800s, like Legends of the Fall or something, where it's well, your husband has died, so I, as the brother or best friend, must do the right thing and fuck you now. Like, I think that's how it went back then.
Those were the rules.
That's where the term "the good old days" came.
I don't know if you guys have seen Strange Brew.
No.
Of course I have.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, well, I won't reference it if you haven't. You won't think it's funny. But there's a scene where the dad dies and the daughter, and they talk about
spoilers.
KFC.
Jesus.
Anyway, well, from a 1981 movie.
How dare you, sir? How dare you?
That one was pretty cut and dry. Yes, Lando would be in like Flynn. Okay.
Of course he would. Had you seen him on screen? That
yeah,
dude
but
is
what
so
about? I guess.
She was gonna give it to him when Han was sitting there. He was going so smooth. Come on now.
Yeah, but surely Leia would have just been like, "Nah, that's it. I'm married to the rebellion. We'll keep fighting until we get Han back," or is she just
sure in public, but behind the scenes, she's not resisting Lando. There's no way.
Okay. Right, second one. Same question asker. What's your best theory on how Luke's hand and lightsaber were retrieved after the duel on Bespin? Which I guess his hand wasn't. The lightsaber was.
I don't know, maybe.
Are we so sure?
Who's getting that question?
Oh yeah, sorry, Eric.
I've thought a lot about this, actually. I saw somebody talking about it on Twitter saying there's literally, it's not interesting on how Maz got the saber. It's like, are you kidding? There's tons of questions that would be great to know. Because, I mean, it fell out into the sky of this planet. Where else? It had to have landed on the ground. It's not like it was up in the atmosphere. And so what's the score on Bespin? Isn't it...
gas giant, isn't it?
Yeah, but isn't it like
Tiberian?
acidic, where
gas?
Can the people like survive on the ground of the planet itself?
But the thing is, they're in that. So when Luke jumps off the thing, he kind of falls into, it's like a bowl, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if the lightsaber goes off the thing, it could still be in the bowl, if you will.
Yeah.
The Bespin bowl.
There's those tunnels.
Yeah, there's tunnels and things, isn't it? Because he sort of falls through a thing and through a thing and through another thing.
Yeah.
So it's possible that the lightsaber's fallen in just between the couch cushions, essentially, and then someone's retrieved it later.
So,
Landon
somebody
could've
found it behind the dryer.
Yeah, that's it. Like, what's this?
There it is.
It's like the air conditioner is rattling. It's like, what's that sound? Oh, it is someone's hand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the hand's
and
just
it's in this perfect shape. I'll just take this thing out of it, and it's like, I think I could bank with this.
Well, I honestly hope that the hand never is to be heard from again.
Same.
That's my hope. But as far as the saber goes, I guess it could have gotten stuck in there, and they sent somebody out to get it. So,
stream drop. Yeah, on it.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been a good 20 odd years since I've read it. But the Timothy Zahn Thrawn trilogy, that's the hand, isn't it? Like the hand is used to clone Luke. If you've read those books. I remember reading them as a teenager, so I remember bits and pieces. I remember Luke's clone name was Luuk. It was Luke.
Fucking that.
But I think that's how they cloned him, wasn't it? From the hand, maybe?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. It's been a while since I read him too, but I do know that they cloned him. I believe it's from his hand. I don't know where else they'd get DNA from unless, other ways.
Yeah.
unless
In the live chat, Stay Radis just said it was in the ice cream maker.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, the hand or the lightsaber or both. We'll see what comes up with that at some point. Next question.
Next question.
Okay. That's a good one. So Miles Sebastian at Miles Sebastian 1 asks, what did the asteroid monster eat when spaceships weren't landing in it? And are Minox their gut flora? Luke.
I actually thought about this, and I think they're probably like the equivalent of, like giant earthworms. Earthworms just probably they're eating dirt and stuff. They're probably just eating asteroids, man. I mean, because obviously it had to burrow its way into there. I'm sure it ate all that shit as it was going down. But they're not going to turn away a chance at a extremely tiny little ship compared to what it is. Why not? And I honestly do think that you would consider the Minox just like some in essence some kind of bacteria in a way, as far as the size comparison to the big space worm. But yeah, I think that makes sense to me. They have a symbiotic relationship. They're like the sharks and the suckerfish that go into the bottom of their bellies.
But I always got the feeling that Minox weren't because when they know the Minox are there, is that the first clue that they're inside a monster instead of a cave, or is it only when he shoots the ground?
It's when he shoots the ground.
And there's the idea of like a Minoc roast and stuff like that. I feel like if it was something that only existed in like monsters' stomachs, the second you saw one, you'd be like, shit, we've got to.
No, I'm not saying, but just like those things that suck the bottom of sharks, you don't just find them on sharks. They swim around too.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, I'm happy with that. Great.
There was one of the books that was like a collection of stories. It's new. It's of the recent canon where there was a guy who got trapped in something, and there were Minox in there in the digestive tract of something else. So it's a running theme apparently.
They're the seagulls of the inner workings of aliens. You
Yes.
know, like the landfill with the seagulls are always at the landfill. They're just picking up the scraps inside those big space worms.
Cool. I'm happy with that.
They're like tapeworms, man.
So how the fuck did the space worm get there then? Like, is it a blown up planet and the worm's been there?
You are reaching too far. It's Star Wars.
We are YouTubers, goddammit.
Well, I feel like once it's eaten all the asteroids, does it just like float until it lands on another asteroid? Is that its thing? It's just like the space whales in Rebels.
Yeah.
Like this sort of species of
That makes sense.
space animals that just...
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just sleeping.
Maybe they can also go through hyperspace.
That's pretty...
That'd be terrifying.
That would be.
Right. Well, they mention in Solo that there could be vacuum breathing life forms in the maw, and so that could be it. My assumption always was is that worm was on whatever that asteroid field was produced from, like something that blew up.
Yeah.
And he was just there because even though he looks incredibly huge, in comparison to that chunk of rock he's on, he's still not that big.
Yeah.
He could live out his entire life chewing on that thing and just die.
Yeah.
Of course, how do they spawn?
Yeah.
Now
maybe there's maybe there were tunnels and stuff, and maybe the planet blew up and he's lost his family, and maybe he's got a really sad life.
Yeah.
Poor worm.
Now I'm gonna cry.
And you got dickheads just shooting his stomach. Just for tests.
Yeah, man.
I think we're in a living, breathing organism.
Yeah.
Boom.
That sucks so much.
Not sure.
You got a Corellian tapeworm.
Alright, let's go do another, 2 or 3?
Yeah, I think we've got some more left. Okay, from at Cad Bane's Bounty.
Rick Villanueva.
Thank you very much. Charles Sewell says he's going to write some new Lobot content for the upcoming Star Wars comic based on a deleted scene where Lando leaves him behind on Cloud City. What do you hope to see Lobot do in the immediate aftermath of the main Empire storyline? Pick one.
Dallas.
Thank you.
Glad you asked.
So, Lando's going to leave him on Bespin. The casino isn't going so great. He's not much of a casino manager, so he will open DJ Lobot's club on Bespin.
Getting low.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what he does, frankly. We kind of don't know a whole lot about him. Is he like more cyborg than human? So are we cracking this thing open to make some Star Wars fans mad per usual, or is this just going to be a simple little thing in the story? That's kind of what piques my interest when he
There's a story about that already, though, in the Lando comics.
It's really good.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
it's very good.
We still kind of don't have an idea of, like what his origin is, though, from that.
Yeah.
Is he going to be in episode 9?
That would be cool.
That would be kind of cool.
Like, can you imagine Lobot in the back of the Falcon with Nine Nub and Lando at the end of the movie? Just, let's get out of here. Hit hyperspace. Let's go party.
If Lobot turns up, I want to have him do that same thing, like just out of the blue. Lando touches something on his space watch, and then Lobot's just been in a cupboard, and he just goes, "Hello, yeah, here's your drink."
Oh man, how about like Star Wars had Apple Watches and Android watches before, like, they had the idea before it came out. Crazy.
Luke, were you going to say something on that?
I don't know, man. Like, I think it's kind of interesting how Lando, how he treats sentient, almost pretty sentient things.
Mm-hmm.
You have Lobot, you have L3. Like, he's got a weird, how he just rips her open, throws her into the Falcon. You're there forever. I probably could fix you, but I won't. So yeah, he's got it. And then in the last shot, he was making droids and all kinds of stuff. So Yeah, he's got an interesting history with droids. I wonder if they showcase that at all in the latest movie.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's go 2 more questions, and then
I think we've only got
anyone
one.
in the... Oh, okay. Let's go 1 more question, and then in the live chat, we'll take 2 questions if anyone's got them. Sorry if we've missed any that have already come up. But yeah, we'll take 2 at random.
Okay, so last one from Twitter from Michael S. Pumpkins.
Hey, Skymauler.
Skymauler.
Hey.
Force Awakens was similar in some ways to A New Hope, which is not a bad thing. Do you see similarities in Empire to The Last Jedi? Eric. I keep saying Eric.
It's his hair.
It is that. No offense.
Man, honestly, there's some similar parallels, like Rey's scene in the cave that's by the lake and stuff like that. But past that, the arc is different.
Yeah.
It's not as much of a, I don't want to say a 1-to-1 because that makes it sound like The Force Awakens was just like A New Hope, and it really wasn't. But I would say definitely less than it was for The Force Awakens and A New Hope.
Yeah. The Force Awakens, something that I've always thought was that it was a blend of A New Hope and Return of the Jedi. Like, there's not a lot of Empire Strikes Back in The Force Awakens at all.
No.
But it's kind of like, it feels like you've got the start of A New Hope and the end of Return of the Jedi in some respects, just in its scale and scope and all that sort of stuff, and it's pacing and timing. That's something that I've always felt, and it's not really a question I don't know.
And then Last Jedi is a bit of a mix of like Empire and Jedi, isn't it? Like the throne room stuff.
Yeah.
And all that. But Empire does something, like structurally, Empire does something that's actually amazing. Where
stream.
Oh yeah.
And
there you go. Empire does an amazing thing in terms of like structure compared to New Hope, where like the big battle is at the start, and then it slowly gets smaller and smaller and smaller until the final thing is, it's the stakes are 1-on-1. Whereas Last Jedi sort of does a bit of like a big space battle, calms down, and then sort of has the big crate battle. So it's that's sort of, for me, that's the thing that always stuck out of like, or does it? Am I talking shit, or is there?
You might be talking shit, but I think you're right. I don't know. I think that's right.
Yeah. No, it does. Yeah, because I mean, the ending of it is like the space. It is the crate thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas New Hope and Jedi and Force Awakens sort of follow that same pattern where it kind of gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas The Last Jedi and Empire do fuck around with it a little bit more. Sorry, I went all over the place there.
We've said so many different movie names in different orders now. I don't even know what today is.
Yeah. I didn't even mention like the prequels or Solo, Rogue One, Citizen Kane, Fargo.
It's Citizen Kane. It's definitely Citizen Kane. And if you don't see the parallels, then you're not into cinema.
Well,
I was just thinking, like, back to when you were asking with droids and with what's going to happen in the next film. I wondered if we'd see some B-1 battle droids at all.
Ooh, yeah.
Hold on.
Why not? At this point,
Yeah.
just throw it all in. As far as I'm concerned, give me everything.
Why not?
Roger. Like really old and like
all fucked up. That would be really cool.
Roger.
Brilliant.
That would be really fucking cool. I would love to see some droids.
Lobot hits his watch and some B-1 battle droids attacking.
Now Lobot's got a watch.
On
He's like,
your left.
I got the watch now, fool.
Lando on your left, like an Endgame.
But it's all just like shitty battle droids, just falling apart. Well,
is that any more questions?
There's one question about, do you think the special edition should have fixed the fact that the stick knocks over the AT-AT?
I'm going to take that one.
Okay.
No.
Cool.
Fucking no.
And then
the little problems and the little fuck ups, it gives things charm.
Remove it all. Here's a good one. Chatter Squadron. Which scenes are the most memorable after you first watched them? So we'll start with Luke and we'll just go in a thing, and then I think that's it.
Then we got the prize from last episode.
I would say because when I first saw it as a little kid, the most memorable thing to me watching that movie was when Yoda lifts the X-wing out of the swamp. It was a big deal to me seeing that. Obviously, you can see the lightsaber battles and stuff, but I don't know, just seeing Yoda do his whole size matters not thing was really cool.
Yeah, that I'll make a little comment on that. That is the one scene that I think probably makes me teary the most. Like hearing Yoda's theme in that, it just fucks me up every time.
Yeah. For me, I think that like when you see that first AT-AT fall after they figure out to loop its legs and it falls on its face.
Yeah.
Whenever I was young, that like blew my mind because that was it. All hope was lost, and then that happened. And okay, now we're on the right track, and you can see that visual and you can think of what it sounds like, and you see it all the time. They use that footage all the time. So that
not to mention you got hooah, that got him. Freaking wedge. That was weird. Hooah.
Hooah. Well, to go back to the thing that I do like about that actually is like when they tie it up and knock it down and hooah and all that. But then they still don't win. Like that's so Empire-ish, isn't it? Of just like if that battle was happening at the end of the movie, that's the moment where they like turn the tide. But here, when you watch it, it's like they knock it down. You're like, oh, brilliant. Oh no, they're still getting their asses handed to them. Like,
well, I mean, they were gonna lose. The point of the battle wasn't to win; it was to get away.
Oh yeah,
so,
and that's
that's
the whole film, isn't it? They never win.
So it's still a victory for them because they took down something that the Empire that they could take down.
Yeah,
that's like it's just chipping away.
No, it's good. That's Empire in a nutshell. Of just like they keep losing, but it's like their survival is enough of a victory that's like. So you end up with that big stirring John Williams music at the end, and you're like, wait a minute.
Everything just sucked there. Wait, no, it's okay.
No, don't end.
What about you, Dallas?
Dallas.
Without going for the obvious ones, I would say a couple smaller things that stick out to me that people may not have for them, or maybe that has for them. But when you see 3PO get smoked in Bespin City and his parts go everywhere, and if you were a kid like me who either loved or hated him all the time, and he was getting dogged in that movie, and I was loving that shit. I'm like, they smoked him. And then they put him back together all wrong, and he was salty. I just loved how Chewbacca just gave no fucks about 3PO's well-being after all that. That stuck with me. Yeah, totally.
Like right after he got cussed out by the other 3PO, Chuta. Like, what?
Oh, dude. E3PO. Yeah, that's fuck off, and Chuta. I'll forever love that scene.
So one that I should have thought of is where Luke calls a saber to his hand in the Wampa Cave.
Yeah.
Because that we hadn't seen anything like that before. The Force can do what now? Oh my god, this is great.
How many times did we try to do that as kids?
Yeah. Dude, how many times do I still try to do that?
Right? The remote control.
This time it's gonna work. This time I gotta try really hard.
Oh great, one of my neighbors got a loud ass motorcycle. Congratulations,
We're really proud of you.
Yeah, I'm so happy. Oh.
My favorite episode of South Park ever was about Harley riders, but anyway.
It's probably a good thing that we had that little interruption, because I was just going to start making a joke about trying to suck yourself off. What we were just talking about. Well, we were just talking about how many times did you try that as a kid? And you just keep trying. Maybe this time. Today is the day.
Amazing.
I just finished watching season...
Me and you, buddy. Me and you.
Season 3 of Big Mouth. I just finished watching that, and like trying to give yourself head is a big part of like 2 or 3 episodes.
Right.
It's
like, come on, today is the day.
Were you ever into Metalocalypse?
Oh god,
cartoon?
Yeah. Oh,
there was a whole episode where they're all trying that, and nobody can do it. And finally, one day, Toki comes down. And he goes, "Guys, I finally do it. It's sort of gay."
Oh fuck! I love that. I love that show. It's so good. Oh god! All right. Well, we're gonna end the Q&A on
that
self-felation.
In our careers.
Autoerotic something or other. We're going to now announce the winner of the competition. We obviously stole your artist, Chris Hall, and got him to do some merch for us, and also he's got a prize pack. So if you've seen that big ass bundle, let's bring it up. I'll show everyone what we are going to be giving away. We're the winner. So he's got this big ass bundle of postcards and posters and stickers, and he's been hanging on to that for us so that we can give it away. So in the last episode that we did, which was our the holiday special, which if anyone hasn't watched that, fucking hell, just please, we put a lot of effort into that. It is our masterpiece. Yeah. Anyway, so we asked people about what things from the holiday special they would like to see in The Rise of Skywalker. You have to write it in a comment. And so we're actually going to get you guys to decide the winner based on a number, because it's the only fair way that I think we could do it. So who wants to pick the number? Eric's going to pick the number. All right. So
out of how many?
Out of 16. Pick a number between 1 and 16.
13. 13.
All right.
Okay. Give me a second.
All right. 1.
One moment.
Oh, what do we got?
This one.
All right. So, whoa. Okay. YouTube user, who would want this name? All right. The answer was, I know the thing I want from the holiday special to appear in The Rise of Skywalker. That four-armed chef with a cooking show. I also want her, him, it, played by Harvey Korman. Please tell me he's still alive. Greatest straight man comedy actor ever. Oh, we're checking to see if Harvey Korman's alive.
No, he's been dead for 11 years.
Oh, shit.
I guess it freezed right as you announced it.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. It froze.
Oh, no.
Ah,
Classic.
God damn it. All right. So apparently it froze right as we announced the wiener. Sorry. we were just off on our little tangent here. So let's do that again. The winner of last week's competition is YouTuber Who Would Want This Name, and their answer was, I know the thing I want from the holiday special to appear in The Rise of Skywalker, that four-armed chef with a cooking show. I also want her, him, it, played by Harvey Korman. Please tell me he's still alive. Greatest straight man comedy actor ever.
There you go.
We already had a really good laugh about that, but it got missed on the Ruined stream. So yeah, and Sean looked it up. And how many years has Harvey Korman been dead for?
He's been dead for 11 years.
Yeah, sorry.
So died in 2008.
Sorry, but good news to Who Would Want This Name. We're going to send you a message and tell you that you won the prize pack and give you our email address and get you to send us your postal details so we can send the damn thing to you, because it's sitting at Chris Hall's house. And he's just sitting there going, can I please send this now? Please, sir.
Please, sir.
Please, sir, I want to post it. And no, he's not allowed to, not yet. But we will send that out to you soon.
Not allowed.
So thank you guys. That's the end of the stream. Thank you. So tell everyone how they can find you. Though to be fair, I think probably most of the people in our chat room already know you guys, and that's why they're here. But let's just in case we have fans, tell them how they can find you.
Go ahead, Cruiser.
Well, you can obviously listen to us on the Bad Motivators every Wednesday. We drop new episodes. So we have a Patreon, and you can follow the show at bad_motivators on Twitter and at bad motivators on Instagram, and you can follow me at Luke Cruiser on Twitter.
Yeah,
Eric.
Here's the deal, real quick. You can follow me at Eric Strawler's Butt while we got a little bit of a wider audience, if anybody out there can get that damn @BadMotivators tag for us on Twitter, there is a cash reward. A cash reward. And some Hasbro toys. Dallas said he would give you all of his Black Series figures if you
You guys don't like that underscore.
Yeah, of course. So just go ahead and give your Twitter handle so they know where to find you. Go ahead, Dallas.
In tangents.
And to redeem your prize for giving us that Twitter handle @TargetTangents.
But seriously, if anybody can get it, we want it.
That was very mean looking. I was scared.
Yeah, it would dad you to death. Like if you make noise at a steel show while he's trying to get the levels right.
I like how you tell that story like I was the bad guy. In that
Totally were, bro.
When according to everybody else there, I was the hero.
So you're saying he's like Kylo Ren, where he doesn't think he's the bad guy, he thinks he's in the right.
Anyway.
Oh God, thank you guys.
Thanks so much for having us, man. You
Oh,
guys
it's been a pleasure.
You're doing the Lord's work, man. Seriously, you guys have a lot of fun. I really dig what you do.
Thank you. We try to do it, and we try to have fun doing it. That's why we swear a lot more now. Thanks, Force Toast. Trying to do an episode with Laura and Alice, and like that was our last one of not swearing.
Yeah.
And we still put one in there, and it was just like, fuck this.
Essentially, yes. We are, we're in Australia. Swearing's punctuation over here. There's no point trying to.
Everybody enjoys NC-17 strawberries.
Oh yeah. That's the good stuff.
All right, so thank you guys. It's been a blast, and I hope to do it again. And everyone in the live chat, thanks for your patience. Everyone that's been watching, like the tech difficulty, AustraliaNet, it really sucks, but is what it is. And I think for the next one, and I'll announce the next one. So the next episode is in 2 weeks, and we're doing another live stream because we're gluttons for punishment. And this time we'll be doing it with fellow YouTuber Major Lee, who recently put out that video about the Fandom Menace that everyone fucking loved.
Oh, so good.
It's so good. So yeah, we're going to have him on to talk about Return of the Jedi and Battlefront 2 as one continuous kind of chat. And then we're going to take a couple of weeks off and come back, and we're going to do a live reaction to The Mandalorian. Oh, and I think we're going to be having an interview with one of the actors in The Mandalorian as well.
Yes.
So,
nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be fucking cool.
Yeah, we've got some cool stuff coming up, and yeah it's exciting.
All right.
And the trailer for episode 9 will be
the
out
trailer will be
either this Monday or next Monday.
Yeah. We might have to.
The contention with that, isn't that great?
Yeah, so I saw a thing today. They've announced the tickets go on sale on the 21st, which implies it's the 21st. John Boyega's agent says it's this Monday. I had a dream where it was this Monday. So,
If it's not this Monday, I'm going to be sorely disappointed and start a YouTube channel. All right, well,
another one.
On that, bye everyone. Thank you very much. We'll put up the schedule for the next episodes, and then we'll call it.
Goodbye.
Thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe for more on the road to 9. Hit the bell icon so you're notified about future installments, and if you like what we do, you can support us by heading over to our Patreon and contributing. Even a small amount helps keep us producing content now and into the future.